Okay. All right. So again, my name's Ashley. So a little bit about my background. I'm a registered dietitian. So I work in different clinical settings and in private practice. So sleep is obviously a big part of overall health, right? So we're going to be going over some specific sleep disorders, but also some lifestyle interventions that can really help with if you're having sleep problems. So since I'm not a medical doctor, I won't be able to answer any specific medical questions. Of course, if you have any suspicions that you might have a sleep disorder, you want to make sure to follow up with your doctor after this. So, but feel free to ask questions as we go. And yeah, let's get started. All right. So, dealing with sleep disorders, we're going to be going over, these are our objectives. So we're going to be going over what is a sleep disorder, what actually classifies that, some good news, some sleep studies, the effects of stress on sleep and our overall health, the cortisol connection. So we're going to be talking about cortisol production and what that does to your body, dealing with insomnia and how to help with that, and then some really good resources that you guys can refer to after this. Okay, so a sleep disorder is any disruption or disturbance of your usual sleep patterns. So if you're waking up a lot, anything out of the ordinary, if you're not able to fall asleep, if you're really restless. So some of the common disorders, we have insomnia, which is just not sleeping enough, COPD or other breathing problems during sleep, epilepsy, which is seizure disorder that can disrupt sleep, bedwetting or frequently waking up to use the bathroom, and that could be an underlying other medical issue as well, but it definitely disturbs your sleep, right? Pain, if you're having chronic pain or anything like that that's disturbing your sleep, and then restless leg syndrome can also be really disturbing, right? Okay, so there's some different classifications. So I'll go through and kind of explain these. So we have the first classified group is called circadian disorder. So that's where your circadian rhythm is off. So this can be a result of irregular sleep patterns, disturbance to your rhythms. So it talks about it's regulated by the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus. That's just a part of your brain that regulates your circadian rhythms. And so what that is a circadian rhythm is essentially you're awake during the day and you're sleepy at night. So if you are really sleepy during the day and you are more awake at night, your circadian rhythm might be off. So examples would be jet lag. When you're traveling to another time zone, that can really throw you off, right? Because you're going from a nighttime where you're usually at to a daytime. So that can be really disturbing. Shift work, if you're working overnight, that can throw off your circadian rhythm, especially if it's random. If you're having like random shifts, that can really affect your circadian rhythm. And then we have delayed sleep preference. So this means that you prefer to go to sleep really late, like maybe you're not tired until 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then you prefer to sleep until 12 p.m. the next day. So this is just your normal pattern. And then there's the advanced sleep preference where you get sleepy around maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, and you wake up really early, so 3, 4 a.m. So this actually, it's your circadian rhythm that's telling you to do these things. So to start with jet lag, a couple of things that can help. I know I have a coworker that travels to Kenya a couple times a year. She's Kenyan and she goes back and forth. And so she says, whenever you get to the next time zone, and I've looked this up, so there's evidence behind it, but whenever you get to the next time zone, don't go to sleep right away, even if you're tired. Go get out in the sun. The sunshine will actually help reset some of that circadian rhythm. So if you're traveling a far distance and you're jumping over time zones, just try to get out in the sun as much as possible. Same thing when you come home. Try to get out in the sun for a couple of days, and it really helps that melatonin production and helps kind of reset that circadian rhythm. And then if you have that delayed or advanced sleep preferences, it says if your lifestyle accommodates for you to sleep that way, then you shouldn't be tired during the day. You should be able to function normally. But the problem is when if you have a work schedule that doesn't accommodate for that sleep preference, then that's where you can have some insomnia issues and not being able to sleep enough, right? So you're not able to fall asleep as you would like to. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are experiencing any of those things. Definitely you can always speak to your doctor on, you know, if you do have a specific sleep preference, how you can adjust that maybe in a safe way to help with your lifestyle. So then we have insomnia. That's the feeling of not getting enough sleep, so not getting sufficient sleep. So it could be due to actual lack of sleep, like you're not able to fall asleep for a long time if you're just laying in bed for a few hours, not able to fall asleep. But it could also be due to a lack of productive sleep cycles. So if you guys all heard of the REM sleep cycle, the rapid eye movement, that's when you're dreaming more, and that's when you're in that deep sleep. So my husband's actually going through a sleep study right now because I noticed that he kind of stops breathing in the middle of the night. If your partner ever tells you that, you definitely want to go get checked out. And he's in good shape and everything, so sleep disorders, it can affect anyone. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to be in poor health to have a sleep disorder. So he's going and getting a test done, and he did an overnight study, and they said that he didn't enter REM sleep until 3 a.m. in the morning. And so then they had to wake him up at 6 a.m. So he only got like 3 hours of really good sleep. And so I think that's a lot of times why he's really tired in the morning, because he's not getting that deep sleep. So that's something that can be affecting you if you feel like you're sleeping 8 hours, but you feel really tired when you wake up. So certain things that can cause this, different medications, if you're on medications that can like stimulate you and not help you. I mean, I know a lot of allergy medications, it's hard to sleep if you're taking those. Deficiencies in daily activities. So if you are not very active during the day, it can be harder to fall asleep at night. And actually, we talked a little bit, I mentioned melatonin. Melatonin is something that's naturally produced in our body to help us fall asleep. Melatonin is actually created during the day, but it actually requires sunlight. So you have to get a little bit of sunlight to get your melatonin production up. So I know we all work indoors now, we don't get outside very much, so just taking a little bit of a walk when you get outside, that can actually help. I don't know if you've ever been on vacation and you sleep so much better because you're out in the sunshine. You know, the sun just tends to make us tired, right? But I think a lot of it has to do with that melatonin production. And then we have, if you have, you know, any kind of depression or anxiety going on that can keep you up at night, definitely can harm your sleep. And nutritional deficiencies, if you are deficient in certain vitamins and minerals, that can actually disrupt your sleep cycles. So like B vitamins and magnesium are really tied to sleep disorders as well. So if you don't have a balanced diet, that can actually affect your sleep. Any questions? Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
They have those, like gummies.
Okay, the melatonin? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so does that actually help you smooth off, or?
It can, so that you have to.
I've heard about them, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah, so you just have to remember about supplements that they're not regulated. So if they're claiming that there's melatonin in there, we don't really know exactly how much melatonin is in it. We don't know if it's gonna do exactly what it claims. And so just getting some melatonin from a reputable supplement supplier. There's also some certifications that supplements can have on the bottle. There's one that's called USP, and that's an organization that certifies whatever is on the label is actually in the supplement. And so that's just a good way to know if that's a good product. But yeah, melatonin, technically, if you do ingest it, it can help. If you take it in the evening, that's when your melatonin production starts to come out, because that's what helps you to sleep. So you can take it in the evening. It might help. Yeah, it definitely could.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then there's snoring, which is also another sleep disorder. So that's the vibration of throat tissues that relax during your sleep. So snoring itself is asymptomatic, but it can be and it can indicate another disorder like sleep apnea, right? So sleep apnea is where you actually have a blockage of your airway. So this causes short periods of not breathing during the night. And so that's what they check for if you ever do an overnight sleep study. They're checking if you're having episodes, which is actually you're not breathing. So that's where the snoring can be a problem. It can cause, severe sleepiness during the day, but it also can lead to health issues like high blood pressure, higher risk for stroke, higher risk for heart attack. So if you have any suspicion that this is going on, if your partner, complains that you snore all night long and maybe you kind of choke in your sleep, then that could be a sign that you're having some of those episodes where you stop breathing. So the sleep disorders, they definitely can be detected and prevented. You'll want to talk to your doctor about any concerns you might have, and then they would refer you to a specialist. We have sleep disorders here in Fresno, clinics that specialize in that. So just make sure that you do address that with your doctor. So your sleep studies, they'll test and determine how you sleep, how your body responds to that sleep. So there's different tests, and I am not a sleep expert, so I'm not sure all of the tests that are out there. I know there's, when my husband just went overnight to do his sleep test, they had about 50 different electrodes all on his head, on his chest, on his arms, and they were testing all the different rhythms of your body during sleep. So it's pretty intricate. It's pretty cool. So the sleep studies can help to prevent the risks of untreated sleep disorders. So again, if we're having sleep apnea and you have high blood pressure, if you get your sleep apnea corrected, your blood pressure could be corrected because of that. So it's really helpful to know what's going on. Any questions? All right, sleep's effect on stress. Okay, so during our daily activities, we have cortisol production, and that's just in response to daily stuff. So cortisol is a hormone, and it just starts to accumulate in your body. So when we sleep, our cortisol levels are supposed to fall back down and suppress and let our body get back into that healing stage as we sleep and recovery. So cortisol, what it does, it raises your blood sugar. It helps to break down your food. So it's essentially like our body's way of survival, right? So if we have to have energy throughout the day, we have to be doing things. It's just our way of our body being able to survive. It helps us to focus. It was just created as a survival mechanism. But when it stays elevated is when there's a problem. So again, when you go to sleep, your cortisol production goes down, right? But if you're not sleeping well, that cortisol level stays high. And so that's where you can actually get some physical health problems from that stress hormone, which is cortisol. So that's why when we feel stressed, you might get sick easier. It'll suppress your immune system. So a lot of the times, you're getting chronic like infections, or you can't get rid of this cough. It might be because you're a little stressed. It decreases your bone formation, so you have a higher risk for like osteoporosis or fractures. It can depress your mood and memory, so this can lead to that depression, anxiety, even higher incidences of like cases of Alzheimer's, things like that. Causes high blood sugar, so of course high blood sugar, can lead to a lot of other chronic health conditions like diabetes. And then other non-desirable effects, so just essentially like any kind of, we had the high blood pressure, higher risk for strokes. So all of those things can be definitely related to that high cortisol in your bloodstream. So this is just a visual of what happens over time. So you start out with the low cortisol levels. You go throughout your day, it kind of raises up, and then at nighttime, it only decreases maybe a quarter of the way, because if you're not sleeping very well, it's only going down about that much. Really, in reality, it should be going down all the way back down when you sleep, right? It should be like this. But this is going back up during the day. Maybe you had an extra stressful day that day, and then again, it's only going to go back down. It's not going to go back down all the way if you're not sleeping well. So over time, it continues to rise, and that's where we can have those chronic health conditions from that chronic stress. All right, so I think there are other ways to reduce your cortisol levels. So one, of course, is the sleep, but you can also music, massage therapy, so think of relaxation techniques, what helps you to relax. That will also reduce your cortisol. Laughing, okay, and the experience of humor can lower your cortisol levels, so that's where I'm going to throw in like cat memes can be really helpful during the day, you know, just something to like kind of relieve that stress if you need some humor in your life. Black tea has shown to help. So there's just some properties in there that are kind of soothing. Dancing, and I would assume other exercise as well that is enjoyable can definitely help to reduce your cortisol. So this is interesting. So these things can increase your cortisol protection. Sleep deprivation, right? So if you're not sleeping well, you're going to be a little more chronically stressed. Caffeine can actually increase your cortisol levels. So you just have to identify how much caffeine is a safe amount during the day. What's been deemed safe is about 4 cups a day of coffee. So say you're going to have coffee. So a cup is 8 ounces. So it's that much. Not, you know, the grande for venti or whatever. So 1 shot of espresso or 8 ounces of coffee is considered 1 serving, and then 4 to 5 is considered a safe range. Like about 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine is a safe range for the day. But if you're going way above that, you have a bunch of energy drinks, you know, all these different things that are adding up. That could actually increase your cortisol levels. So just keep that in mind. Severe trauma or stressful events. If you're going through something really stressful, or maybe even got in a car accident or something, your body is trying to heal, it's going through a lot of stress, that can increase your cortisol. Long or strenuous commutes. So even being in the car, having to focus for a long time, that can actually increase. And then excessive alcohol consumption will increase your cortisol. Any questions about that? Yeah.
What is the recommended hours that we should be sleeping per night?
Sure, yeah, so it's recommended at least 7 quality hours of sleep, yeah, for an adult. If you can get 8, that's great. No more than 10, because it actually gives the opposite effect when you get too much sleep. You can get, you know, extra drowsy and stuff when you have too much. So anywhere between 7 and 8 is a good goal. Any other questions on the cortisol? All right, so that's really how our emotional stress can affect our physical health. You know, that's that tie in there. All right. So dealing with insomnia. So these are some ways to help with those sleep disorders, right? If you don't feel like you're sleeping enough. So if you don't fall asleep within 20 to 45 minutes, this is what is considered normal, standard. If it's taking you an hour or so to fall asleep, you might need to find some techniques to help with that. So there's just, you know, trying a relaxing activity until you feel drowsy. I mean, some people like to read, that can help. Listening to relaxing music. So if you have Pandora, there's this relaxation radio. It's really awesome. It just really helps to like relax you. And at the end of this, I actually wanted to go through a little guided meditation with you guys, about 5 minutes, just to kind of give you that experience and show you what that can be. You know, we all have smartphones. You can just download a free meditation app, and they're really great. Try to keep your mind calm and relaxed. So, you know, of course, thinking about calming and relaxing things, right? If you do have like a million things going through your mind, you have a bunch of things that you're wanting to follow up with, I've heard that writing out a list, like a to-do list before you go to sleep, can really help. you know, maybe getting your day prepared for the next day, that can help relieve some of those things on your mind. This one says, do not allow negative thoughts about how much sleep you're getting. You know how we worry about, oh, I only have 4 more hours of sleep, and then it just stresses you out more. So this is interesting where it says, do not allow negative thoughts. So our brain can't like stop thinking, right? So you can't just say, I'm not going to think about how much I'm going to sleep. You have to replace that thought with something else. So just like you're going to say, I'm not going to eat that cookie, and then all you think about is eating that cookie, right? You have to replace it with something else to distract your brain from not thinking about that. So that's where the guided meditations can really help, because it kind of walks you through, like, you're on a beach and you're on whatever. So it's like helps you to think about something else, or just picture your favorite vacation spot, or think about, you know, a happy family memory or something else other than stressing about how much sleep you're going to get. So determine if any medications you're taking can be interfering with your sleep. So always look on, you know, if you're having over-the-counter medications, they will have some information on the box. You can always call your doctor to ask about this. Avoid prescribed sleep medications. So this is just something that you need to talk to your doctor about. Of course, there are cases where you're going to need that, right? But there's a lot of other lifestyle interventions like we've been talking about that can really help with that. So of course, any medication you take, it could cause side effects, could become dependent on it, that kind of thing. So if you can do other things, that's great. Discuss your serious sleep disorders with your physician, of course. If you have any inkling that something might be going on, you can always go and get tested for that. So, any questions? Anything that you guys have found to help you fall asleep that you'd want to be brave enough to share?
I don't think we have a problem after working 10 hours.
You're pretty tired. Good. You don't have that lack of activity problem. That's good. I have found that the music at night really helps, and reading too, putting away the phone, you know, that really helps, I think, too. Great. So these are some websites, some good quality resources. BetterSleep.org, Psychology Matters/sleep. So this is probably addressing a lot of those stress factors. And then Relage.com. Real age, maybe. Said that wrong. So I was going to try a guided meditation with you guys. Do a little experiment here. So get comfortable. It's only me about 5 minutes. Any questions before we start? Yeah, it's both. I'm sorry?
I've watched some videos and read some stuff about people who change their sleep pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Or instead of getting like a full 8 hours or something a day, they learn to maximize their day, get more time out of it, kind of like breaking it up.
Oh, okay.
They train their bodies to sleep for like 3 to 4 hours and then take small breaks in between.
Wow,
Have you heard
interesting.
anything about that?
No, I haven't. I don't know the effects of that with that cortisol. Remember that's our goal of having that long restful sleep, is to get that cortisol production down. So I would have to look and see if there's any studies that have looked at that and seen, okay, how is that affecting our body? I'm not sure about that. It might be something you could ask your doctor about, if that's something that, you know, could be helpful for you in your lifestyle. But yeah, that's interesting. I know that you can't catch up on sleep. So our sleep is what it is. It just, if you have that lack of sleep, that damage is done. You can't, you know, make up for it the next day with 12 hours. It's just, you just got to keep moving forward. So I know that, you know, you just have to kind of get back to a good routine.
But that depends on your age. Does that go for your age, different ages in different stages, or it just completely doesn't matter what age you are, that's what you should be getting?
Mm-hmm, yeah. For adults, 7 to 8 hours, yeah. So children need more. You know, I have 2 toddlers, and they need about 12 hours. throughout the day, but they're really growing and
Busy.
developing, yeah. So for, yeah, adults, you know, I would say 7 to 8 hours is what's recommended. Okay, so I'm gonna go dim the lights and then we will start. A ver, kids on So this app is called Oak, O-A-K. It's like oak tree, and it has some free meditations on here. A lot of the apps you do have to pay for them, but you should be able to find some free stuff. All right.
You can pick your favorite chair or just sit cross-legged on a cushion. Let's take a moment to release any unwanted tension. You can do this by rolling out your neck in a circular motion. And giving your back a good stretch by twisting those shoulders left and right. Also, make sure to check for any tightness that might be hiding in your jaw or shoulders. And if you find any, just go ahead and release it, softening that area. Now that you're ready to settle in, find a starting position where you're sitting upright and alert, but without being too rigid. Your chest should be open and your shoulders relaxed. Go ahead and place your hands in a comfortable position. They can be folded in front of you or on your legs. Now close your eyes. Let's begin by taking a few slow, deep breaths, inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. For each breath you take, notice how your chest and stomach rise and expand on inhale, and how the body relaxes and softens on exhale. As you finish your next deep breath, allow yourself to return to your natural breathing rhythm in and out through the nose. Now bring your attention to where you most easily detect the breath. You might feel the air passing through the nostrils or touching the upper lip. Or sometimes you feel the breath in the movement of your chest or belly. Once you find that point, keep your focus and attention on it. This is your meditation practice, simply observing where each breath unfolds in this present moment. And remember, there is no need to change the breath, speeding it up or slowing it down. Just let it happen naturally, observing each part of the breath, the inhale, pause in between, and exhale.
All right. That was our alarm though. So that That was kind of fun. That was nice, relaxing. You could even just do this at your desk if you need to. You know.
Yeah.
That one was called Mindful. Being aware of your body. Okay, everybody wake up now. Okay, so that's all we have today. Do you guys have any questions?
I heard that white noise machine are effective if you have like a humming in the ear at night.
That can be, yeah, absolutely. It can really help. So we said white noise machines. So I know you can find them in the baby section. You should be able to find them pretty much at any like drugstore, home store. Those are really nice. That's kind of what was happening in the background of this meditation. That was like a white noise. So you get the river sounds or birds or winds. That can be a really relaxing. Ocean, yes. Like when you're on vacation and you can actually hear the real ocean. That's so nice. Isn't that relaxing? Yeah.
More when it's raining.
When it's raining, yeah. So yeah, you can always try that. And there's a lot of, you don't even have to go out and buy a machine if you wanted to just use your phone. Just try it. You can, you know, find some white noise, like meditations, just where it's just the sound. You can find that. Yeah. Any other questions? Alright, well thank you guys for your evaluations and have a great day. Thank you. A relaxing day, hopefully. It's called yeah, when I looked up, I typed in three mindful, no, what is it, free meditation apps. And that's one of the first ones that popped up. You need a pen? What year?
Right here.
You didn't see it? Here, I'll show you what it looks like. If you type in free meditation, do you have the...
Yes, I said in the free meditation.
This is what it looks like.
Everybody was falling asleep.
The Headspace has a few...
That's your alarm clock. No. Mine is more soft.
I put it all together,
There's so many.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that the app thing?
Yeah, this is the app, so it looks like these little leaves. I just typed in free meditation apps.
Okay.
There's an iPhone. I do, so maybe that's the difference. It's called Oak. Yeah, I just typed in free meditation apps, and this one that I downloaded is called Oak Meditation and Breathing, but it might be because I have the Apple, and you guys have something different. Yeah. And I know some of the ones you have to pay for, you still get a couple of them.
Put my hair?
Thank
you. What is it, the Headspace?
The Headspace, you can do that one. Yeah, that one's good. You have to pay for some of them, but there's a few free ones on there. I just found that this Oak one has quite a few free ones, which is nice.
That was good.
That's a good. Good. I'm glad you liked it.
Only one.
No, maybe it doesn't have it on your software.
Yeah.
So you might just have to download a couple and see how you like them.
It might be a different name or something.
Yeah, I know
like
like YouTube has a bunch of them. You know, you can find free ones out there. It's just kind of convenient if you have it on your phone. So.
If you find one, let me know,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't start it off.